Walk into almost any Ram dealership in America today, and you will witness a mathematical masterpiece that absolutely nobody wants to buy. Lot after lot. Brand new 2026 Ram 1500s are sitting completely still. The paint is collecting dust. The rebates are climbing higher. Under the hood of these sitting trucks is an engine that automotive engineers spent years and billions of dollars perfecting. It beats the old engine in horsepower. It beats it in torque. It beats it in fuel economy. By every single metric that the government and the spec sheet reviewers care about, Ram built the ultimate modern half-ton pickup. And yet, traditional truck buyers are aggressively withholding their money. They are turning their backs on the new models, opting instead to overpay for used trucks, or worse, walking straight across the street to buy a Chevy with a Duramax. Today we are going to look at the massive multi-billion-dollar gamble Stellantis took when they killed the legendary 5.7-liter Hemi V8. And we are going to ask the question that is keeping Ram executives awake at night. Is the new Hurricane engine a technological triumph or the biggest marketing disaster in modern automotive history? To understand the sheer scale of this frustration, you first have to look at the machine that caused it. The 3.0-liter Hurricane Twin-Turbo Inline-6. If you evaluate this engine purely on a spreadsheet, it is a flawless victory. The standard output version generates a massive 420 horsepower and 469 pound-feet of torque. If you open your wallet wider for the high output version, you are looking at an incredible 540 horsepower and 521 pound-feet of torque. It can tow upwards of 11,580 pounds when properly configured. Compare that to the old naturally aspirated 5.7-liter Hemi V8, which pushed out a respectable but aging 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. The math is brutal. The new standard Inline-6 creates 25 more horsepower and 59 more pound-feet of torque than the legendary V8, all while delivering a combined 18 miles per gallon compared to the Hemi's 16. Stellantis executives looked at these numbers. They looked at the crushing weight of the EPA's CAFE emissions standards. And they made a cold, calculated business decision. They put the V8 in the grave for the 2025 model year and bet the entire farm on the Hurricane. They thought truck buyers would look at the spreadsheet, realize the new engine was objectively better, and happily hand over their cash. They were dead wrong. Let's pause right here. If you actually own a 2025 or 2026 Hurricane, jump into the comments right now. Defend your truck. Does that twin-turbo setup actually pull a trailer better than the old V8? Or are the traditional guys right to hate it? Let us know. The executives in the boardroom forgot the golden rule of the American truck market. A pickup truck is not a math problem to be solved. It is an identity. When you buy a full-size truck, you aren't just buying payload limits. You are buying an experience. The old 5.7-liter Hemi had its flaws. It was thirsty. The platform was aging. You might even hear the dreaded Hemi tick if you listened closely enough. But when you turned the key on a freezing morning, that engine communicated with you. It had a mechanical rumble that vibrated right through the steering column. It sounded exactly like an American workhorse is supposed to sound. The new Hurricane is clinically perfect, but it lacks a pulse. When you press the accelerator to merge onto the highway, it doesn't roar, it hums. Real owners have flooded forums complaining that the Twin-Turbo 6 sounds like a high-powered vacuum cleaner or a pissed-off weed whacker. It delivers incredible speed, yes, but it delivers it with a sanitized, soulless efficiency. Beyond the sound, there is the anxiety of complexity. Traditional truck owners trust displacement. They trust heavy iron blocks. They do not implicitly trust complex plumbing, twin turbochargers, and high-pressure systems that have to survive 150,000 miles of towing heavy loads. Ram essentially walked up to their most loyal, deeply entrenched fan base, the hardcore Mopar or no car crowd, and told them their feelings didn't matter. They prioritized emissions compliance over the visceral connection between a driver and their machine. And now, the consequences of that disconnect are coming due. This is no longer a polite debate about which engine architecture is superior. It is a full-blown cultural collision. On one side, you have Stellantis, desperately trying to comply with strict government regulations without paying massive EPA fines. On the other side, you have the American consumer, who holds the ultimate veto power: their checkbook. Buyers are holding on to their older Hemi trucks longer than ever before. The resale value of low-mileage V8 Rams is staying remarkably high, while brand-new Hurricane-equipped trucks require deep dealership incentives just to move off the pavement. Ram owners are using their purchasing power as a symbol of protest. They are flat-out refusing to be forced into a transition they never asked for. If you are one of the guys refusing to upgrade, tell me what year your Hemi is and how many miles are on the dash right now. Because in today's market, that naturally aspirated truck in your driveway is turning into a gold mine. Stellantis is currently watching their market share bleed out. They replaced an American icon with a calculator, and the free market is punishing them for it with total ruthlessness. Which brings us to the ultimate question. How much financial pain is a multi-billion-dollar corporation willing to endure before they blink? Will Ram continue to watch their loyalists defect to Chevrolet, stubbornly standing by their Inline-6 to keep the environmental regulators happy? Or will they be forced to do the unthinkable? Will the new leadership under CEO Christine Feuell have to swallow their corporate pride, pay the massive emissions penalties, and somehow engineer a return of the V8 for 2027 just to save the brand from a mass exodus? The math says the V8 is dead forever. The empty dealership lots say something else entirely. What do you think Ram will do? Will the Hemi ever make a comeback? Or is this soulless perfection the permanent new reality? Drop your predictions down below.